Before we continue, I'd like to introduce someone whose work has become part of this story in a very natural way. I first met Ingela some years ago in Johor Bahru in Malaysia, when my brother, who just happened to be visiting, and I went to collect a large painting from her home in Malaysia. It was a painting of a woman in a red dress. Anyone that's been to our house has probably seen this picture. It's front and center in our home, and it actually was in our home in Penang as well, and Johor Bahru. Now, at the time, it was simply something beautiful that Natalie and I really, really loved. And looking back now, it feels as though that moment carried something more, because the name of the book didn't even exist then. And yet, in a quiet way, that image stayed with us and has become part of what you're seeing here tonight. Ingela has created a series of paintings in response to the story, capturing 7 key moments in Claudette's journey. So it's my pleasure to invite Ingela Johansson to share a few words.
Wow. Ooh, thank you. I remember that time when you came to pick up the painting. And I also now remember, because of my own story from that 10 years ago, living in Malaysia and how my life changed and shifted. At that time, I was painting women's back because I felt that you could see the secret of a woman and how she was feeling in her back. And I didn't realize that at that point. It came much later. And since then, I moved back to Sweden 2020 and changed my life completely. And I've started meditating a lot. And when I was asked to do this wonderful collaboration with Natalie, I leaned into intuition and emotion while creating. So if you would have opened my studio door in November in Sweden, it was snowing, and I was standing there painting in a flowy dress with red lipstick on. And yes, the red lipstick actually is in the first painting that is behind, I know, Katarina and her friend. So yeah, I painted with lipstick, and I followed every intuitive tip that I got from maybe Claudette or maybe someone else, meditating in the mornings before painting. Because it's not illustrations to the book at all. It's all about trying to capture the emotional thresholds in the book. And often the meditation asked me to play a very specific song, a song I might not have listened to in 20 years. So I followed that as well. So there's a song list in the catalog that you can grab, where you can see which song inspired which painting. And I'm always curious to know what people think about the stories in my paintings. I want to leave the stories open, to have several questions and curiosity and endings, of course. I always search to find life, movement, and energy. That is what I try to construct. And sometimes that movement is just before the change happens, or the small shift, where someone might just change posture. And when I asked Natalie about why she asked me to do this, she came up with the most beautiful answer. And now I will just read a few lines. From the first moment I encountered your work, I recognized something in it. You paint women at thresholds. Your figures often stand between worlds, between the outer life that surrounds them and the inner calling that begins to emerge. That space of transition is exactly the territory I was exploring while writing the red silk dress. Thank you, Natalie. And I would, of course, like to congratulate you to this wonderful book. And I would like to leave you with this. What if red was not just a color, but a decision? Thank you.